I don't know how any of you guys are going and going and going. I know you gotta be at the same level of mental health as me. Every day it's something new between the fucking news and the fucking stupid Biden and stupid Trump.
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working ourselves out for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now.
What am I doing wrong? I work every day and I'm still broke. Like, I have a decent job, I make some decent money, but I live out here in Cali. Like, bro, as soon as I get paid, I have all these bills stacked up, bro, that shit wipes me clean. Like, fuck, I got no money left over. Making $100,000 a year doesn't get you anywhere nowadays.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to the grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already. I literally have $10 left on my account. So a little backstory. I got laid off from my job a month ago. And I've been applying for jobs months before I got laid off. Sent out hundreds of resumes already. Applied to hundreds of jobs on the internet, remote and on-site. Tailored my resume to every position that I applied using ChatGPT. Went to only a few interviews. And still nothing. Like, what the f is going on with America right now? Like, it's so freaking hard to live here. Like, I'm gonna stay positive. I'm gonna keep applying for jobs. I'm gonna keep showing up. But man, my bills are not going to wait.
Y'all, I just went today and got my driver's license renewed, my car tags renewed, picked up 2 prescriptions, and got a few groceries. To say that I'm completely broke now is an understatement. So I'm going to have to go home and start selling off my furniture to be able to live the rest of the month. I mean, that's just, it's unbelievable. And my heart hurts today. Truly hurts for people who are not able. And we're living in some rough times, really rough times. And we need to be praying for all those around us who are not as fortunate as we are to be able to do the things that we need to do. I'm not talking about extras. I'm not talking about going on vacation and doing fun things. I'm talking about living, taking care of your vehicle, if you can even afford a vehicle, putting groceries on the table, buying medicine, the things you have to do. It's sad. It's very sad.
Yeah, it's a really sad thing here. You know, we have a generation that is right now trying to survive in the US, and they're doing it at a time that it is so difficult with the rising costs. I really do feel for the younger generation and even for the older generation. I mean, you're hearing the stories here that it's just so difficult right now. You go and do a few things and it's like your bank account is empty, and that is the reality. Money goes by so quickly, and the reason why is because primarily, in my opinion, wages have not kept up here in the US. That's a fact. And also the cost of everything has gone up so dramatically that right now it's just not lining up. It's really, really, really difficult to make ends meet. And you do have to start learning to do with less. Take out the luxuries in life, take out the unnecessary vacations, the unnecessary spending, take out the wants, and really just focus on the needs. And even just by getting the needs, purchasing the needs, taking care of your needs, even that really starts to draw people broke. And I'm seeing more and more that people are having a harder time to cope with this because it's getting too stressful. And even though this has been going on for years now, and if the pot continues to boil, I really believe things are just going to get a lot worse because people are already living on the edge, and you already can not afford something extra to happen or something extra to come up without just kind of going in the hole. So that's why I've been a proponent of just living as minimally as possible for years now, being as debt-free as possible and living frugally, because look at where we are today. Look at what's going on in the world.
Bro, the cost of living is insane right now. Like, what are we doing? I swear before COVID, in my area, $20 an hour was like, you balling, you good. Now, people that making $20 an hour, I'm like, man, how are they surviving? Like, this is insane. Fast food places are paying $20 an hour now. So $20 an hour is the new $10 an hour. Obviously, all of this is relative to where you live. So my $20 an hour, where I live in Northern Virginia, may be your $16 an hour, or maybe your $30 an hour. It all really depends on where you live. Like, I can't be the only one that sees this stuff. Like, I can't be the only one that understands what's going on. And it honestly worries me that there's some people out there that make less than that. Like, think about the people out there that's making minimum wage. Like, probably have to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make up for, you know, a livable income. It's insane.
What do I see happening? People are moving out of the cities. People are scrambling for side hustles, second jobs. People I've heard talk about that they're considering that they may start taking up theft, you know, because they don't know what else to do. People are starting to feel pushed into this corner and they don't know how to react. There's people that are talking about moving out of the country because the US is so unaffordable, and they're starting to look at other places like Mexico and other places in Central America and South America and other countries in Europe even. So if you're thinking, hey, this is really getting hard, are other people going through this? Yeah, a lot of people are really struggling right now. We've been living frugally for years, and even we've been seeing that there are things right now that we have a hard time getting around, you know, when it comes to buying things, because we need to get certain items and then the price is just so high. And of course, you know, with the tariffs, things are going to go up even more. But it's really concerning what's going on. That's why I'm such a proponent of trying to cut back, live below your means as much as possible, move in with family, don't have a brand new car, get rid of that, get something used, don't get into more credit card debt. If you need to find some type of side hustle, something that you can do on the side, even though nobody wants to work a second job, but just relying on your own one income right now is not necessarily reliable. So thinking outside of the box and what can you do on the side, even if it's babysitting or cutting lawn or doing something that you are skilled at during the weekend, it can add up. And I think it's just something that it's kind of a reality right now, especially for a lot of Americans, because wages have just not kept up and the cost of everything is increasing so much.
This is how screwed up the middle class is in less than 60 seconds. I got a friend, him and his wife make about $120,000 a year each. They're very educated, very smart, very hardworking, not the average American, but we're going to go off of them. So they make $120 a year each. That's $240. They have a credit score of almost 750 combined. They can get a house for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath for around $5,000 a month. How is a basic middle class person supposed to live and afford a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in Washington State when it's $700,000 and it's $5,000 a month, and a basic family makes probably roughly $80,000 combined, if not $120 combined, and that's at $60,000 a year. So if you make $60,000 a year, you and your wife combined, you still cannot afford to live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house if you're middle class American.
I told myself I would never cry on the internet because I think that's so lame, but I just got our rent renewal thing for our apartment complex, and it's going up by $300 a month. $300 for a 1-bedroom apartment that is not updated in any sort of way. And our complex doesn't even have like nice amenities. Like, we have a tiny pool and a tennis court. Like, this is not a luxury apartment complex. We already pay, with all the fees and everything included, $2,000 a month, and now we're going to be paying $2,300 a month for this tiny apartment. And that's just so frustrating. I don't understand how people can live in this world anymore, and I just don't want to move again because that's so much work and more money, and it's stressful trying to find another place, and it's just so annoying. And now I feel like I need to get a new job, and I just got this job and I like it, but it's not paying me nearly what I need. And so now I'm gonna have to go through applying to jobs again, which I did for like a whole year plus until I found this job. So I'm gonna have to go through all of that again. It's just not fair.
I am so tired of living my life in survival mode, because despite having 2 college degrees and making close to $80,000 a year, I still cannot keep up with the cost of living. I still cannot afford all of my bills every month and have to live paycheck to paycheck. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I am sacrificing my mental health, my time, and my energy to take care of people in their most vulnerable moments, and a lot of the time they do not make it. At the very least, I should be able to pay my bills. And for anyone who's thinking, oh, well, you shouldn't have chose that job, somebody has to do it. And you know damn well, if your loved one was critically ill, you would want somebody to take care of them, right? Something has to give.
I think what we're going to start seeing even more than what we already are is more of an exodus out of these very expensive places to live and exist. A lot of people are in states right now that have a high cost of living, and there are still plenty of states here in the country that have a lower cost of living. So starting to think about what kinds of places that could be. We have moved from very expensive states to more affordable states a couple times in our marriage, and it's been helpful. And I'll tell you right now, you do see the change in the cost of living if you move from somewhere like California or Florida or even parts of Texas even to other areas, other states. And you don't necessarily have to move out of the state that you're in. Typically in every state there's going to be the expensive places to live and there's going to be more affordable places to live. Now some states just kind of overall are more expensive to be in, so that's why I say maybe start looking at other states. We currently moved to Oklahoma from Texas, and we've seen already a reduction in costs for several things, particularly housing. And it's just something that I think people need to do. You know, when the cost of living is really high, you need to migrate, you need to move if you can't afford it, and if you don't have another way of surviving where you are. So people have been doing this for generations. Some people leave the country completely, other people leave the state, other people leave the area that they've known and maybe grown up in, and they've been there for many years.